Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do One Piece episode 574 review. So, of course, before I get started, look down in the description below for the link to this week's episode of One Piece, the preview to next week's episode of One Piece, and the Facebook fan page, all in the description down below, including One Piece Official. Now, that being said, this week's episode of One Piece, it was actually very simple. It was very simple, very straightforward. Like a lot of chilling and relaxing with the pirate crew. Well, in the terms of Luffy, Usopp, and, Zoro, who are catching fish. While we see Sanji and Brook peeping on Nami because, they're perverts. That's what they do. They like to peep. And they wind up being, roasted by Nami. Literally. Now, for the fan service guys, of course, you guys love the fact that we see Nami in a shower. We see her completely naked, in a sense. And also, like, there's one scene where, like, we see her, like, zip up her, we see her, like, zip up a sweater. And, like, you just see, like, everything. You're like, okay, so, clearly, for the Nami lovers, they, they got a stiffy, Mr., yeah. So, alright, fine, fair enough. And other than that, oh yeah, and of course we get to the White Storm, underneath the White Storm, and then after the White Storm we hit these island whales, who are of the same species of Laboon. And what winds up happening is that, like, Brook gets very emotional. I mean, very emotional, because these are relatives, or these are the same species that is of Laboon. Like, this is where like this pod of island whales may have been the original pod that Laboon originally came from. Like, we don't know, because whales can live for a very long time. So again, we don't know, but still, we see Brook, we see the emotions building, and at some point we actually see Brook, start doing the Binka, what's it called, the Binks and Sake song, like Binkas and Sake, all that kind of shit. So at the end of the episode, it threw me off because we get to the new world. And in the manga, it was fucking crazy. Because in the manga, we get to the new world, and then the entire ocean is, like, literally on fire. Like, literally on fire. But when it came to the anime, it was like, okay, well, we get up there. There is no fire on the ocean. And when you take a look at the preview to next week's episode of One Piece, there's going to be filler. There's going to be a filler. There's going to be... This filler, it revolves around the pirate, One Piece film Z. So, I mean, like, I knew that this was going to occur, because when they did the Strong World film, they also had a filler. They had like I think it was like 3 or 4 filler episodes that involved the Strong World film. So when it came to Z, it made a lot of sense that they were going to do this for film Z as well. And, so that, it makes sense to me. Now, will I review the filler? I don't know. I don't think I will, because I don't like reviewing fillers for any show, whether it be Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, whatever. So, I don't really review fillers. So, I don't know, maybe. Like, it depends how good it is. It depends how well done it is. But mainly, I'm going to assume that at least 3 weeks. So, from now up until maybe either at New Year's or right before New Year's, there's going to be filler. And then after that, we're going to hopefully see Luffy and the rest of the crew go to their appropriate island, which is next. Which, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but basically, in the manga, it was fucking crazy. Because in the manga, they came out, bam, New World, Shinsekai, the island, the ocean was completely on fire. It was like, whoa. But in the anime, it's kind of like, and plus they also extended it by adding like those like flashback scenes again, where we see the crew once again in their past, when they were like where they were like 2 years ago. Some of the scenes were like recycled, and it wasn't that appealing. I mean, the only thing that was actually really cool was the White Storm. Seeing the whales, and I mean, like, again, like, if you're a Nami fan, like, you enjoyed seeing Nami, that fan service. Well, actually, there is one thing that was actually, well, aside from the fact that Luffy did like a really cool, jet pistol, um, we see Zoro perform a new technique, which is not the 36-pound cannon, but the 360-pound cannon. So Zoro has, in a sense, leveled up his long-range attack. In fact, it's so fast that we couldn't really see, like, we couldn't really see it, like, cut the air. And it didn't disrupt the bubble that they were in, the coating. So Zoro has attained a new skill. Well, he has shown us a new skill, the 360-pound cannon, which means that we're going to go from 360 to 720 to 180. I mean, to 1080. So, good shit. Good shit. And that was it. Like, that was the episode in a nutshell. We are now finally in the new world. We are now in the most powerful ocean, the most dangerous ocean, and this is the ocean where the Yoko, this is what they dominate. This is Big Mam's territory, right? This is Big Mam's world, right? She thrives in this world. And Luffy and the rest of the pirate crew, we're gonna see them, throughout their journey in the new world in order to attain the great treasure that is One Piece. They're gonna find Raftel, hopefully. I mean, that is the goal. That is clearly the goal. And so we're gonna see where it goes. But that's it though. Like, that's really it. So I'm done. Because again, it's very simple. The episode overall, very simple. It was at the beginning, we see Luffy, Usopp, Zoro, they're fishing, while we see Sanji and Brook, they're peeping on Nami. They catch a big fish, which winds up getting into like another big fish, and then like another big fish eats that fish. Zoro kills the big fish, but then they get sucked into a white storm, like a huge underwater whirlpool, like a giant snake. At the same time, we see, like the crew have, they're getting sucked inside the white storm because of the big fish that they killed, and now they are finally submerged inside of the white storm. And when, they're actually like, there's one funny scene where we see Luffy's like commanding the guys, get the fish, and they're like, yeah, and then Nami's like, no, cut the line, and they're like, what? We want our food. So like, it was really funny. But so basically, like, they get stuck inside the white storm, and then they get thrown a few, wherever, like they get thrown off course, and then all of a sudden they hit a wall. This wall winds up being an island whale, and then there's a pod of island whales, which are, because they're so big, they're creating their own current. And so Nami and the rest of them, they follow the current as Brook gets all emotional. And then we see him playing the song, and then we see him catering to the whales, talking about Laboon and yada yada yada. They wind up following the whales up the current path, and then they wind up outside into the new world, where the whales leave. They all say their goodbyes, and then they are now in the new world, and then they see these marine ships coming their way. Which, once again, this was a filler scene because in the manga, it didn't occur that way. In the manga, there were no marine ships. It was just, bam, new world, fire. So, but that was it. So, King of Lightning, be sure, and the rating is going to be subpar. Because, again, the filler scenes, the extended scenes, when we see them going towards the new world, the countdown, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, unnecessary, but whatever. I mean, I'm not going to complain because it was still enjoyable, but, it was unnecessary. It really was. So, again, King of Lightning, be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe as always. And I'm signing out. Peace, and have a nice day.